Hi, it's Double975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. And today I'm fighting Evident Knight in a friendly 1v1. This was him testing his new build medium ship, which he's gone with a fully multi-cannon FDL, which is a solid build. There's a couple of things I would have done differently, but all in all it's a very solid build. And I'm going to fight it in my all gimbaled FDL, which, you know, fair's fair. His advantage is he should be able to have more pips in systems than me. My advantage is slightly higher DPS if the beams get hot enough and I'm at the right range, which brings me to the title of this video, just hold the trigger down. Now generally when people fight gimbaled ships they're always like, oh, all you have to do is hold the trigger, and that is relatively true to an extent, but some trigger discipline is actually really useful. One of the things I would recommend when you use a all multi-cannon build is keeping an eye on your ammo and range. If you realise you're closing your opponent but you're running out of clip, don't fire. Wait till you're at optimum range and then unload the rest of that clip at them. There's nothing worse than getting to under 500 meters and at that point having a reload. You want to try and time it so your reloads are when you're far away from the opponent and you have ammo when you're close to the opponent. A bit of trigger discipline really does affect the DPS of multi-cannon FDL. You know, there are other things that you want to be mindful of, and that's like damage fall off, range control, vector matching, learning how to control your ship in combat so you get as much time on target as possible. Now I'm relatively experienced as a gimbal scrub. It's something I've been doing for a long time. I have a certain gimbal scrubby way of flying that is reasonably effective. Decent PvPers will beat this ship, but generally they don't beat it by a lot. If I'm beaten in this ship by somebody that, there's a couple of times I've been badly beaten in this ship. I think Ragnar Scott was one. He used double chaff, which I did laugh about because it's like, had I brought my Ramba, the double chaff would have just totally screwed him over because his shields were so weak. But yeah, good move against me in this. But like, if you chaff, I'm just going to unlock and keep shooting. Because they are beams, they're not that difficult to aim, even fixed. But ultimately, even the best PvPers in the game have struggled to beat me in this ship. I think Mayroon was like 28%. Hull I got him down to before he won. There's a couple of very good PvPers that I've beaten in this ship, 1v1. And over the years, it's been a very effective build for me. I don't like using it against all multi-cannon builds because I don't have any chaff. I just have a heatsink and a lot of shield boosters. Generally I have more shields than my opponents because I'm a rammer. They build a heavy ship. And to be fair, Evidence built a pretty heavy build himself. It's a pretty chunky ship he's built. One thing he is lacking is an emissive multi-cannon, which I think is essential, especially when you're fighting someone like me who will go silent running when their shields go down to really amp up that DPS. As you can see at this point in the fight, this is when this ship comes alive and does most of its damage. That extra damage on those beams is brutal, and that was what the difference was. But that is a very solidly built FDL. A couple of tweaks and it'll be a really good medium ship. And it's nice to see Evident embracing the smaller ships. He's been a vet guy since I've known him, so it's nice for him to get into a smaller ship, just as I'm building a vet to take him on in PvP vetness, because he's got the measure of my trolley cannon build, but I'm building something that's a little more competitive. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when I unleash that on his vet. I'm sure that'll be a fun fight, and I might bring you that one in the future. But for now, his medium ship is really solid, and he looks like he's going to have some fun in mediums. And he'll certainly take advantage of the lower rebuy. I also, to be fair to him, left enemy cooling down, because at this point I may well die as well. As you can see, I'm at 2000 over 2000 heat. I'm taking a lot of damage, but as I limp slowly back to my carrier in a ship that's falling apart around me, I do actually manage to cool down enough. So GG's to Evident Knight. It was a good 1v1. It was a solidly built FDL. I'm sure that with a few tweaks it'll be a very competitive ship for him. You can't go wrong with an all gimbal FDL. It's a staple of Elite Dangerous, and certainly you'll be able to drive a lot of people away with that thing. But as you can see, yeah, eventually I cooled down. but it was, you know, it takes away a lot of my hull. So the fight, when you finally look at the figures when I actually cooled down, was reasonably close. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one, as everything malfunctions about from here on inwards. That's all. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.